Hey, welcome to the Alex Gem Experience. Let's dive in, shall we? Right, so this podcast is essentially about how to be successful. I know that sounds highly arrogant, but success means so many different things to different people. It's highly subjective, of course. So essentially, a very generic yet highly accurate way of defining success is when we make progress in an important area. So important to you might be wealth, important to someone else might be health, importance or significance to someone else might be their relationships, their energy levels, their productivity, their quality of life. It could be how well they sleep, how calm they are, how happy they are, how joyous they are. Do you know what I mean? Success is measured in so many different ways. But even if you deem success to relate to finances, really acquiring more wealth and more money is essentially buying more feelings. Yeah, you buy a better car, you buy a better house, you buy better holidays, buy better food. These give you feelings of satisfaction, pleasure, happiness, joy. So really, anytime we're referring to success, we're really referring to better quality emotions. Now, again, that opens up the issue, because what do we mean by better quality emotions? Well, that could mean joy, that could mean happiness, that could mean excitement, that could be calmness, sereneness. That could mean a whole host of different emotions. So I'll let you decide what success means to you. So now that we understand that we're not, in talking about success, we're not directly and only referring to finances like investments and income streams and these sorts of things. We're referring to the quality of emotions we experience on a consistent basis. We're referring to experience happiness, peace, calmness, self-love, self-esteem, all of these sorts of things. So now that we've defined what success means, especially in relation to this particular podcast, we can actually start to dive into some really important things. Now, before we look at the ingredients of success, this is a great plug for me, actually, great segue. You can actually get my free ebook at my website at www.alexgem.com. It's quite obvious. It's the very first thing you see at my website. You see where it says, get my free ebook, 10 Steps to Excellence. And that's a very, oh my God, you should definitely get it. Firstly, it's free. Did I not say that? And secondly, these steps are, anyone can develop these steps. You don't have to be wealthy already. You don't have to be middle class or upper middle class or rich in order to benefit from these steps. You don't have to be an absolute genius to be able to apply some of these strategies. They are literally 10 things that you can do and work toward regardless of your current circumstance, okay? So definitely get my free ebook, 10 Steps to Excellence. Get it now. Why not? Go to my website, get the job done, and start reading it. It's a quick read. It's very powerful, well written, I must say. And it gets straight to what matters. So before we dive into the ingredients for success, I also want us to look at what happens when we look to move towards success, because we will meet a whole host of different challenges. Okay, because I know that consciously we understand that everyone wants success. It's not as easy as that, you see, because a lot of people are actually afraid of success. When people start to become successful in different ways, a lot of things start to move. There are a lot of moving pieces to the puzzle, if you will. For example, when you start to get successful, your friends might treat you differently. They might be afraid that they're going to lose you because your quality of life has improved in certain ways. Therefore, they might look to put you off whatever you have been doing that's led to the level of success. Not necessarily for selfish reasons, and family members can do this as well. It's because they don't want things to change. They were happy, they were calm, they were secure. They had you as part of their life in certain areas, and they're noticing that things are starting to change, whether it means they're spending less time with you, or they see you less often, or your behaviors are starting to change because you've set high expectations and your lifestyle is changing and so on and so forth, and they don't know how to deal with it, and they are afraid that they might lose you as well. So bear that in mind. So things to look out for. Let's start to address some of these. Well, people start to come up with excuses. So say if you're experiencing great success in terms of the momentum you are generating in your life, you are so much happier, so much more in control of your situation, you'll start to come up with excuses to stop you from reaching that next level. Those excuses might be, if I make more and more money, I don't know what to do with this money, and it will make life more stressful. So, there are good and bad problems in life. A bad problem is I've got too many debts to pay. A good problem is I've got too much money and I don't know where to put it. They are both problems. However, I would rather have the problem of having excess surplus money rather than limited funds. So even though we can never eradicate problems in life, we will, and sometimes unnecessarily, we'll come up with excuses to prevent us from breaking through, from reaching the next step. And excuses can be different for all kinds of people. It might be related to time. You might think things like, well, if I get really, really successful in all these different avenues, I'm just not going to have time to relax. I'm not going to have time to sleep 8 hours a day. I'm not going to have time to do my hobbies and play those extra hours on computer games or going to the gym or socializing with friends. I'm not going to have the time to, and you'll come up with excuses to put yourself off progressing in an area that's really important to you. So we can come up with excuses. I'm trying to think, what kind of other excuses could we come up with? We might also use the excuse of our friends to keep us back as well. It could be, I'm not going to reach a certain level of success because it means that I'm not going to be around for my family as much, or I'm not going to be around this. And these are some of the ways that we stay caged. We suppress our deep desires and what we really want for our lives and our futures by essentially putting other people's thoughts, feelings ahead of our own. And I know that sounds quite selfish, but sometimes we have to help ourselves in order to help others, right? I mean, that's what they say when you're about to go on a flight and you've got the attendants and they're teaching you, what to do. They say you put the oxygen mask on yourself first before putting it on anyone else. And the same applies to life. You have to keep yourself strong in order to be able to be in a strong position to take care of others. So excuses are just one way that we essentially can cause all kinds of problems. Another thing to look out for is justification. You might look to justify why you don't deserve success. That's right. A lot of people self-sabotage. And I think it happens a lot more than we may think. So if you're having an internal dialogue with yourself and you're thinking things like, will I ever achieve this? You might say, well, you probably won't achieve what you really want because you're a family man, or you won't achieve what you really want because you don't have enough resources, you don't have enough successful people around you. Or you might say, you will never be completely happy in life because it's impossible, and you might have some limited beliefs in order to justify your current happenstance. So excuse making and justifications are some of the ways in which people can kind of put themselves off success. Another method is procrastination. We can certainly procrastinate as a means of self-sabotage, preventing ourselves from moving on to that next level. Again, procrastination takes many different forms. Some people procrastinate in very obvious ways. For example, say you're at work and you've got a deadline that you have to meet, and you will start to procrastinate. You'll start to find other things to do that are still productive, like cleaning your desk or organizing your files or or going and having a chat with a colleague. Like, these are all types of procrastination, because if you know you've got something really important to do and you're finding ways to not do them and wriggle out of them, then that's certainly procrastination. And, you know, a lot of people, especially successful people, they procrastinate by doing other important things, but things that are not that important. For example, cleaning your desk is a good thing to do, but it's not as important as working on a really challenging deadline that you've got, for example, okay? So people look to procrastinate in all different kinds of ways. And sometimes it can be quite indirect, actually. People might procrastinate by, you know, waking up and saying, oh, I don't feel at my best today, so I'm not going to do the thing that I know I need to do. Instead, I'm going to chill out because I feel sorry for myself because this and that have been happening recently, and I just need to take a step back. So our mind will play all kinds of tricks and games on us in order to keep us comfortable, to keep us safe, and to protect us, really. So, what else should we be looking out for? I'd say not changing too much too quickly. A lot of people, they say they're quite obese and they want to lose, 20 pounds of fat ideally. They'll start to set really unrealistic goals, such as, I'm going to lose 20 pounds of fat in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to train 2 times a day. I'm going to I'm going to get all these supplements. I'm going to start eating I'm going to only eat salad. This is the way it's going to be from now on. Well, that's being highly unrealistic. You're going to put yourself under immense stress. You're going to be overtraining, eating way too many, too few calories. And it's going to your body's going to freak out. You're going to become incredibly fatigued because of the shock impact. Your body might go into starvation mode after a certain amount of days to try and hold on to whatever fat's about because it's freaking out. And then you'll end up giving up rather quickly. And this is why a lot of people kind of fail their New Year's resolutions, because they put so much pressure on themselves and they create too much of a stark contrast in their lifestyles. Instead, it's much healthier to implement 1 or 2 small improvements every single week. And, whether it is you want to lose weight or gain muscle, or you want to sleep longer because you've been missing out on sleep, and how that's negatively affecting your energy levels, your metabolism, your hunger hormones, and all these sorts of things. So 1 or 2 small tweaks per week is really what we want to do if we are to change the quality of our lives. So say if you want to start eating more healthily, it's very hard to go from eating 6 times a day, large meals, a lot of carbohydrate foods, a lot of highly refined processed meals, lots of breads and pastas and rice and potatoes, to then say I'm going to have a very low carb eating program, mostly protein, little bit of healthy fats, mostly salads and dark leafy greens and all these sorts of things. Like, your body's going to freak out. This is not a good idea. Instead, you're going to want to say to yourself, right, instead of eating 6 large meals a day, I'm going to go down to 4 relatively large meals for the first week. And instead of having, mostly carbs, I'm going to tone it down to only natural carbs, such as brown rice and maybe some brown bread a couple of times a week, just to start to tone down the carb intake and to slowly get your body used to these changes. And the same applies to other things in our lives as well. I mean, it's very hard to say to yourself, I'm going to go from making, $2,000 a month to making $10,000 a month within 2 months. That's the goal. And I'm going to do this and that every day. I'm going to sleep only 4 hours a day. I'm going to work, 16 hours a day. I'm not going to really take any breaks. I'm going to, you're doing way too much. You're being too unrealistic. You're setting yourself up for disaster. It's not going to last long. So another problem that people will do when they're really ambitious and they want to make a big change quickly, like impatience is not going to help you guys. It's not. The problem with our society, right? I'm being really candid here. The problem is that we're always on Instagram, Facebook, always on YouTube, watching these really successful, glamorous, sexy, attractive, rich people. And we start to think that they became it overnight. Like they had some kind of magic pill and the next day they woke up rich or gorgeous or amazing. That's crap. And anyone who tells you that is lying. Success in any avenue in life is all about consistency, discipline, showing up, always bettering yourself, and it's a long journey. Unless you inherited some finances or pretended that you didn't, or if you improved your body too quickly, it's probably because of people doing steroids and cheating and doing all these sorts of things, okay? Success, natural success, takes time. End of. And we live in a society, where people are obsessed with social media, obsessed with news, hearing and watching people being successful. Your average person goes on Instagram 150 times a day. That's insanity. And that's coming from me. I benefit. I sell a lot of products and services online, on Instagram and so on and so forth. And I'm telling you, use it for your own benefit. Don't use Instagram too often. Or any other social platform that often, unless you're using it to learn and grow. And I don't think most people are. You're setting yourself up for a lot of pain, affliction, and it's really going to be detrimental to your health. So don't overdo these social platforms. Do your best not to watch all these really amazing, successful people because it's going to make you hopeless. And it's going to make you make mistakes. And then when you do make mistakes, you're going to point the finger and say, oh, I knew it was too good to be true. I know I'm not going to be successful. See, I tried this, I tried that. I tried that diet. I tried that investment. Yeah, doesn't work. No, it does work. You just need to be persistent, more patient, consistent, steady action progression every single week. Develop a long-term plan. Have long-term goals, not short-term goals that are colossal. And we need to stay on track. All right? So be careful with who you're following, who you're watching. Don't overdo it on these social platforms, especially if it's not making you better. And don't learn from people who haven't done it. For instance, me, I'm in very good shape, especially for someone who's done things naturally, especially for someone who used to be obese. Yeah? I do things the right way, consistently, and that's why it's great to listen to me about, for instance, getting a good body, especially if you are someone who used to be overweight. You've got a lot of trainers out there, for example, who are heavily into steroids, illegal substances. They're training 3 times a day. They're recovering, and that's all they do all day long. And yes, they've got incredible results, but it's unrealistic unless you are someone who's looking to do it that way as well. So follow people who have clearly achieved it. Follow people whom you look up to, whom you respect, and who have done it the right way. And then you're going to do it and you're going to feel good about yourself whilst you achieve success. How many people do you know achieve a lot of success, a lot of wealth, a lot of money, yet they're highly depressed, unhappy? They don't have quality relationships. Their quality of life has actually gone down. They're making more money, but their internal quality is diminishing. Probably because they've sold their soul in many ways in order to accumulate these finances. Or they've neglected what's really mattered in their lives, their family, their friends. And they've changed too much. They've changed their coaches, their mentors. They've changed their boyfriend, their girlfriend. They've changed their wife, their husband, in order to have more of a trophy wife or a trophy husband. They've gotten rid of their childhood friends, people who genuinely had their back throughout their lives, in order to adopt fake friends who seem more successful. Now, be careful what you wish for. And another thing that we need to look out for is making the same mistakes. Now, firstly, we should be wise enough to learn from other people's mistakes. We should be learning from other really successful, happy people who've achieved in areas where you want to achieve. And by listening and learning from their experiences, we can avoid making the same errors. Makes sense, right? But we can also learn from our own mistakes. You know, I still make tons of mistakes. But the difference is, more often than not, I learn from those mistakes immediately. And I won't make the same mistakes again. Because I'm constantly self-reflecting and I'm paying attention to what went wrong and what went right. But people keep making the same mistakes over and over again. The situations might seem to change, or the people in their lives might seem to change, but it's the same mistakes. You ever heard of a person who's saying, I keep dating the wrong person? Different face, same kind of personality, same problem. It's because this person has a negative pattern. Their thoughts, their emotions. Every thought that you have produces a new chemical, a new feeling. When we live by these feelings every day, we start to live by the past. We start to become haunted by past experiences. Or being rejected or unaccepted, or losing money, or being pushed aside, or cheated on, or being neglected or abused, or whatever it might be. We get stuck in the past, and it prevents us from trusting others or challenging ourselves or partaking in new experiences that can really broaden our horizons. And we have to get past that. And stimulating and activating things like neuroplasticity and neurogenesis. I talk about this all the time, so I'm not going to delve into it too much. Will allow your brain to perceive anew. You want to ask yourself new questions because, if you experience the same kind of physical environments on a daily basis, you do the same sort of activities on a daily basis, you think the same kind of thoughts every single day, has your brain changed at all? No. So you're going to create the same kind of feedback loops between your thoughts and your feelings. And you're going to be stuck in the past. You're going to keep making the same sort of mistakes. And this is why people perpetually create their own downfall. And they don't understand what's happening. And if you are someone who's making the same mistakes, then you should definitely be seeking help from a mentor or a coach. And it can be me. That'd be amazing. I'd love to work with you. If you're someone who's been listening to me for the last 23 minutes now, you are someone who's disciplined. You are someone who wants to make positive changes in their lives. You are someone who is committed. And you are probably definitely up for the job. So I would definitely consider working with you. If there's someone else you'd like to work with, then reach out. You have to take action, guys. Life is not going to change unless you change. You don't want to be someone who's always pointing the finger. So if I said to you, why is the quality of your life not improving? And you said to me, well, my partner left me a couple of years ago and I'm going through a difficult divorce. So I'm dealing with their nonsense and I'm having a difficult time at work. My boss has been giving me hell. We're downsizing, so I'm struggling at work and it's creating a lot of stress in my life. That's why I haven't got my shit together. It's why I'm not exercising, I'm not meditating, I'm being quite a nuisance, and I'm being difficult to others who are quite nice to me. Like, it sounds as though this person is pointing the finger. They've got the victim syndrome. Now, if someone says to me, Alex, What's happened? You're not in as good a shape as you usually are. What's gone on? What I'll probably say is something along the lines of, yeah, I haven't been as disciplined as I usually am. I haven't been sleeping as long as I should be. You know what? I've been a bit too stressed about these things, and I'm not planning my meals as well as I could do. Do you know what I mean, guys? We need to take responsibility. That's what leaders do. That's what winners do. They are accountable. They reflect upon themselves and their actions because they know that they're in charge. And it's the same sort of thing, like if Donald Trump, right, if you were to take all of Donald Trump's money away right now, I bet that he would accumulate, pretty much the same sort of money or even more within a short period of time. Because he's got the right mindset for wealth. Not necessarily for happiness, but he certainly has it for wealth. Same thing with a Warren Buffett or a Tony Robbins. Like, these are people who have certain programs that they've created in their minds. And they've programmed themselves for success in certain avenues. And that's what we need to do. We need to program ourselves for success. We need to envision success. And that leads me nicely onto our next section. So we've defined what success is. We've now looked at several issues that might crop up to inhibit and ruin our potential, our ability to accumulate success. Now is the time for us to consider what makes success. And how do we know when we are successful? Because a lot of people experience a great deal of success in their lives, but because they never reward themselves when they achieve things, they don't really appreciate what they've accumulated. They're not grateful. They're not appreciative. They don't love themselves because they never step back to smell the roses. Now, the problem for some people is they might be spending too long smelling the roses. But equally dangerously is when people don't take the time to step back and go, you know what? I'm so proud of myself. Look at what I've just done. This was a goal of mine since I was a kid or since I was a young adult. Or this was a really challenging goal that I set and I did it. Can't believe it. And you go and you celebrate however you want, whether it be with a treat meal or with a trip or a holiday or investing in themselves even more so. However you want to look after yourself, it's very important to celebrate your successes because that's what's going to spur you on to achieve even more greatness. And another problem people have, when they achieve success, I'm talking about like real deep success, like, I don't know, people who have been able to travel to the moon. Like, when they get back, because they accumulated and did something that was so tremendous, something that not many people can say they accomplished, what happens is they experience a great deal of depression thereafter. Same for athletes in really extreme sports, like those who play American football or rugby or martial arts or soccer stars. Like, the highs are so high that when they stop, because they don't have anything in place to supplant and replace that level of intensity, that real extreme success and joy and pleasure and dopamine response, what happens is they go through severe depression. So my tip for you is to have a goal in place just before you succeed in whatever it is you've been doing. So, for example, if you've been working on a massive developmental investment. Like you're investing in a property or a complex or a unit, and it's coming near the end of your project, and you're almost completed it. Have another goal in mind. Go and start viewing some other properties and start making some other offers, or go and invest in another area that's within your circle of competence. Like constantly look to dive into the next goal. Start another project right before the other one ends, so that you can direct your energy into a new area that captivates you, that enthralls you, that evokes deep positive emotions again. Because otherwise you're going to feel incomplete. You're going to feel like there's a hole that needs to be filled. And a lot of people fill it with a great source of pain. I mean, look at the brilliant boxer, Tyson Fury. He speaks quite openly about his massive depression and his suicidal attempts and suicidal thoughts when he beat Vladimir Klitschko. Because that fight for him was everything. He had so much to prove. He wanted to be the heavyweight champion of the world. He wanted to beat the fighter whom everyone was thinking, had such albeit a boring star, but a very successful star. And he even said it. Tyson Fury even said, like, when I beat Vladimir Klitschko, I'll probably end up being depressed. So not only did he project his own depression after winning the fight, he didn't have something to look forward to. He should have had another boxing goal or another pugilistic affair to gravitate toward. But he didn't, and that's why he fell into such deep depression. That's why he fell into the quicksand of depression. And it happens to us. And it can happen easily unless we know these tricks of life, guys. And I'm here to share with you some of these tricks so that when you become even more successful in areas that are important to you, that you know what to look out for. Because you need to understand how the brain works, how our thoughts, how emotions work. Because, even really successful, brilliant people can fall into making these same errors unless they understand how it works and they're able to identify their own problems. Because how many people do you know out there who are so good at analysing other people's lives, yet they aren't nearly as good as at analysing their own emotions or their own routines or their own subconscious programs? Do you know what I mean? We need to be able to self-regulate. We need to self-govern. We need to be able to identify how we operate. And if we can't, then we have to seek support. We have to get someone who has that more objective mindset, who can look into our lives and go, I think this is where you're going wrong. Try this. Give this a go. All right, so let's dive in. Ingredients for success. Really, it comes down to investments. So I write about this brilliantly in my book, The Art of Power, Happiness and Success. You should definitely get your hands on it. It's currently being sold at Amazon, and it's currently being sold at my store, that sounded so funny. www.alexgemstore.com. Search through my products and services at the store. You'll be able to find my book, The Art of Power, Happiness and Success. A phenomenal book, a great read. So proud of that piece of work. And it's crazy. Books are amazing. I mean, books are so cheap if you think about the value that they provide. It really is amazing. So go indoctrinate yourself with that material. Take control of your life. And understand what I mean by investments. Because there are 3 ways that you can invest in something. And make no mistake about it, for you to become successful in an area, your health, your energy, your success, your physical appearance, your health, your longevity, your relationships, building rapport, learning to be a leader, starting a business, negotiation skills, public speaking, whatever it is for you, You can develop it, but you need to invest in these 3 ways. So, I like to invest in all 3 ways. I'll let you decide how you want to invest most. So, firstly, rule 1 of investing is obviously money, finances. If you want a better body, go invest in many different ways. You can go and pay for a personal trainer. You can go and pay for your own chef or your own nutritionist. You can go and pay for gym equipment. You can go and pay for supplements. Your vitamin D3, your fish oils, your omega-3s, your zinc, your magnesium. You can go and pay for your acetyl-L-carnitine, your L-arginine, your whatever it is that maybe your BCAAs to help you recover from your workouts and so on and so forth. Invest financially in areas, because when you invest in something, you value it more. And I think that's one of the reasons why so many lottery winners end up squandering most, if not all, of their finances, because they didn't earn it. They didn't invest in it. That's why it's important for you to put your money down. Otherwise, you won't value something. You could have the same course. Like I offer courses, and I have my courses are worth $1,200 because of the material, the quality, the videos, the podcasts, the bonuses I throw in. Crazy. Go get it now. It's insane. I sell it for $180. That is stupid. It's a no-brainer. Guaranteed success, taking you from step by step along a journey. But if I offer that course, for example, for free, if you got the same person to use the same course that I'm selling, they could have got it for free. I bet they are less likely to finish the course, to apply the amazing strategies in the course, because it was for free. Whereas the person who paid the $180 for that course is more likely to think, you know what? I invested in this. I put my money towards this. I'm going to make the effort to learn it, to instill it, to make use of it, because I paid for it. So learn to invest in yourself by paying for what you want. Don't always look for the freebies, guys. It's dangerous. Right, part 2 of investing. You're going to have to invest time. Time is even more valuable than money. I forgot who says it, but it's really, really pertinent here. They say you spend first half of your life chasing money, and then you spend the second half of your life chasing time. You spend the first half of your life, you're sacrificing your sleep, sacrificing all sorts of things, your intimate relationships, giving so much to make money, to become wealthy, to feel significant, to get that car, to get that house, to provide that security, that stability. And then the second half of your life, your main goal is to become more peaceful, less stressed out, to live longer. So you start to sleep more. You start to exercise more. You start to meditate more. Be calm. You do less. It's crazy. At the end of the day, we can always make more money, but we can't make more time. So time is more valuable than money. So if you want to appreciate a relationship, invest more time in it. You can use psychology against yourself. If you want someone to love being around you more or invest in you more, get them to put the time in. If I said to you, the lazy thing to do for someone is to just give them money for their birthday or Christmas or what have you. There's no thought involved. There's no emotion. There's no time involved in researching these things, in buying it, and in wrapping the present and so on and so forth. You appreciate things, relationships. You appreciate money more. You appreciate your skills more. You appreciate your health more when you research these things, when you invest your time in these areas. So time is massively important for appreciating what you want and appreciating an area where you want to be more successful. And the third part of the trio is energy. You have to put energy into what you want. Effort, fight, suffering even. Yeah, the more you suffer for something, the more you appreciate it. Why do you think a greater power, God, Allah, whatever you believe in, why is childbirth so painful? Let me tell you right now, God didn't have to make it painful. It was painful because the more painful something is, the more you are likely to invest in it. The more vivid it is, the more it means to you because you know what you went through. Can you imagine if having a child was like the whole process, 9 months, what you have to go through, let alone the actual, having labour process. Can you imagine if the whole thing lasted 4 days? Imagine if a baby was created from scratch in 4 days. That would be crazy. And say it didn't hurt. Oh my God. Would that make us care less about a child, for example? Would it make you lose value in your own ability to nurture the child, to invest in the child? Maybe that's one of the psychological things that a greater power did to make us appreciate motherhood, parenting. It's all about sacrifice. And that's what energy is. And by energy, I'm talking about your focus, your attention. Because that is energy. That's your vital energy force. You're like, if you spend a lot of your time focusing on negativity, stressing about something, that's your focus, that's your attention. That is the most important thing we have. Where attention goes, energy flows. So your energy, your focus, your attention is everything. And the more you focus your energy on something, the more likely you are to value it. Think about it. Think about, okay, who is someone who pops into your mind, say, once every 3-4 weeks, once a month, they pop into your mind, you're like, oh yeah, I haven't gotten in touch with that person for a while. I wonder how they're doing. And then again, I bet there is someone whom you think about 5 times a day, minimum. They pop into your head. Minimum 5 times a day. I bet that you value your relationship or your connection with that person whom you think about more than 5 times a day much more than the person who pops into your mind once in a blue moon. Obvious, I know, but it's true. The more you focus your energy on something, the more you think about someone, the more you contemplate something, the more you visualize something, the more you reflect on something, the more you appreciate it. The more committed you are. So if you want to achieve something, you need to be all in. You need to put your money into it. You need to put your time into it. You need to put your energy, your focus into it every day to condition yourself habitually. Because a habit takes between 66 days to 365 days to be fully ingrained within your unconscious, so that your body knows how to do it and execute things better than your mind, because it's become an automatic response. And because you begin to associate these activities, these investments, with who you are, your identity. Next, you need a long-term vision, guys. You need a long-term vision. Like I said earlier, you need to be patient. What's your long-term goal? You need to play chess in your own life. And the reason why most people are sheep, the reason why most people are living an unfulfilling life, a life with low vibrations, low energy levels, chronic fatigue, chronic inflammation, chronic stress, feeling indifferent, apathetic, not really bothered about their lives, content with mediocrity. It's because they're only thinking the one step ahead. It's like the driver who's always looking at just what the first one car ahead. That's not what great drivers do. Great drivers are always looking down the road as far as they can to anticipate where traffic might be building, where the best route, the course of action might be. You know, people who are short-sighted in life won't accumulate much because they can't plan ahead. They don't have 7 moves. They've got 1 move ahead at best. And I'm sorry, but if you've only got one move ahead, you're going to lose. Firstly, you're going to lose to yourself. Because your mind has got so much negativity inbuilt within it because of your reptilian brain. Because our brains are wired, genetically predisposed to keep us safe and secure and afraid of things. That you have so much to battle against yourself. Your brain wakes up every day and you have to fight against yourself every day. You have to do your best to convince yourself to go to the gym every day. You have to do your best to outsmart your own consciousness. You have to convince yourself every day to meditate because you know how important it is. And your brain will come up with excuses. No, don't meditate, man. You've got so much other stuff to do. Why are you going to sit around for like an idiot and waste half your day? Go ahead, get up and move around. Your brain is several steps ahead of you, trying to keep you stagnant. Your brain biologically is created to keep you safe and secure, to protect you, to keep you alive, not to make you thrive. It's your responsibility to preempt how your own brain will work, to understand how you kind of put yourself off from eating unhealthily, from making sure that you go to the gym, making sure that you invest in your business, that you invest time into your close relationships, that you develop high income skills, that you constantly learn, grow, challenge yourself, look to innovate, be original, be creative, challenge yourself, challenge those around you, set a higher standard. So most people will lose to themselves, their own brain, every single day. Because they've conditioned themselves to be weak, to give up. And not only do you have to defeat yourself, then you start to compete against others. Other people who are more resilient, more persistent probably. Other people who have long-term goals. Who know the next 7 steps in their lives. Because most people, they call it intelligence, and I agree with that. But just like how people can be short-sighted, like literally have poor eyesight, people have the same kind of intellectual barriers. Some people just can't think 5, 6, 7 steps ahead. They only know steps 1 and 2. They don't have a 3, 4, 5, 10-year plan. They're just trying to survive tomorrow. And I'm telling you, if you're someone who's just looking to survive tomorrow, you have no chance of accumulating great success in your life. Because you just can't set things up that leads to success. Because success is a long-term game. And you can develop these skills. You can't have a fixed mindset. You can't think, oh, I'm just not really intelligent. I know I'm not that bright. No. These are signs of a fixed mindset. These are signs of a limited belief within your own aptitudes. No. You can get better. You just need to read more. You just need to meditate more. You need to exercise more. You need to sleep better. You need to give your brain the nutrients it needs to thrive. The right kind of supplementation it needs to thrive. You need to surround yourself with quality, successful people who set high standards. Come on, guys. We need to think long term. What are your goals? I'm not saying don't have short-term goals. I have short-term goals as well. But I start with the long-term goal. And then I work my way back. I start with my long-term goals. Then I take it down to my medium-term goals, which could be between months to just a couple of years. And then I go down to my short-term goals, which can last days, weeks, months, or less than 12 months. So be patient and have long-term goals. And start to think 7 steps ahead. Start to play games and sports and partaking in activities that require several steps ahead. Games like chess. Or games that involve psychological steps. You know, a lot of sports, especially individual sports, are based on, if my opponent does this, then I'm going to do that. Then if they do that, then I'm going to come up with this. Then if they do that move, I'm going to come up with that one. It's like playing jiu-jitsu here. Always anticipate what the opponent, and your opponent can be yourself in this instance, always anticipate how you can put yourself off, how you can self-sabotage, and be ready for that move to counter it. All right, next step. I glossed on this earlier, so I'm just going to mention it. But get a coach or mentor. Someone who's been there, someone who's done it. And maybe not a coach or mentor who is like too many steps ahead of you. Because they might be so advanced that they're going to get you to do things that are going to absolutely overwhelm you and put you off. So it might be best, especially if you are very much an amateur, really inexperienced in certain fields, it might be best to start with a coach or mentor who are just like 2 or 3 steps ahead of you, as opposed to 10 steps ahead of you. Okay? Because they're the ones who will be able to close the gap more effectively. Otherwise, you will have someone who's, you know, if you are someone who's never made more than $5,000 in a month, and you've somehow managed to be coached by a billionaire, well, damn. I mean, I'm sure you'll learn some psychological tricks. But, whoa, you are miles apart. So, we'll leave it at that. Take massive action. No one accomplishes big things in their lives by doing small, gradual things successively. Now, I know that I said previously that every week we should look to make 1 or 2 relatively small changes a week. I agree with that. But that doesn't mean you don't go hard with what you're already doing. Like, if you're integrating something new into your daily lifestyle, for example, if you are someone who doesn't know how to... if you are someone who doesn't know how to sell... Right, in which case, learn 2 techniques to make you a better salesman or woman and integrate that within your own sales process. But whatever you have been currently doing well, turn that up to a whole different level. Set higher standards in those areas. For example, if you are someone who is good at building rapport, already you're quite good at that, then start to learn and read more books and go on courses still about building rapport, because that's a current strength of yours. You just need to take that to another level. And then on the side, develop 1 or 2 new strategies or skills to work congruently with your existing skill set. Does it make sense? Should do. So, constant improvement. As long as you are progressing every single week in areas that are important to you, then you need to pat yourself on the back. It's the people who give up. It's the people who think, you know what, I'm the best in the world. It's when your ego gets out of control. Maybe you've got too many yes men and women around you. Maybe you think you're the best in the world at something. If that's the mindset you've got, you will lose. I forgot there's a fighter who approaches every bout as though they're 0-0. You know, they're one of the best martial artists in the world. Damn, I can't believe I forgot this person's name. Someone who's quite well known as well. Anyway, this person attacks every competition as though it's 0-0. Why? So that they are hungry. So that they fight more mentally as well as physically than their opponent. They put the hours in. They invest their time, money, energy every day. They turn up. They are humble. They know that they need to remain hungry. They need to work on their craft. You know, you don't want to be someone who... Because what happens when... You know, there are a lot of problems in football, soccer, this day and age. I'm noticing a massive epidemic, a big problem in football. Because the football players, the soccer players, whatever you want to call them, they're making so much money and they have so much more power than managers these days that they're not listening to their managers like they used to. They don't respect their managers or the clubs like they used to. They're a bunch of spoiled brats, not going to lie. Not all of them, of course. But it's one of the reasons why a lot of these big European clubs are suffering at the moment. Your Real Madrid, your Bayern Munich, even Barcelona. A lot of the Arsenal, all these big clubs are suffering because they've got a bunch of spoiled brats who don't need to push themselves. And if they don't like their manager, they just boycott their manager. And the manager gets sacked. Too much power, not enough character. Damn, I like that. That was good. Anyway, let's move on. Constant improvement. We need to be disciplined. We need to have routines and structures in place. We need to take massive action every single day. And we need to provide times every single day to work on certain skills, whether it be marketing, branding, negotiation, going to the gym, improving your health, building your relationships, whatever skills, whatever you want to succeed in life, you need to set a certain amount of time every day where you show up, where you put that time in, that time is blocked out. Some days, like as it relates to exercise, some days you're going to be pumped up. You're going to feel, you know what, I feel great. Let's go to the gym. Let's smash it. Other days you're going to wake up feeling, I don't really want to go, man. I'm a little bit tired. I'm not really on it. Doesn't matter. You've given yourself that half hour, that hour, whatever it may be, at the gym, and you're going to turn up. And you're just going to enjoy it and do your best. Put the time in. Give yourself the time. Force yourself to show up. And miraculous things will begin to happen. You'll enter flow eventually. I'm telling you, just show up. Know your why. Why do you want this to achieve in this area? Why do you want to launch a successful business? Why do you want to launch a certain product or service? Whom are you looking to serve? Why are you looking to create this? What's the problem in the market? Why do you want to improve your relationships? What is the purpose? What feelings are you looking to generate? Whom are you looking to help? Make sure your why goes above yourself, because if it's just a selfish goal, you're not going to have the willpower to follow through. Your heart, your soul, your mind and your body will not be aligned to create fortuitous circumstances. I'm telling you. And lastly, we need to focus on visualization. And we need to listen to success. You need to indoctrinate yourself with so much successful talk. Because when you hear a successful, when you experience a successful thought in your mind, your brain will therefore produce a positive chemical in your brain. Then that positive chemical will then lead to a positive thought again. Then that thought will create even more positive chemicals. It's a constant feedback loop. until your body, your unconscious, learns to do things better than your mind. That is the secret to success. All right? That is the secret to success. So get used to listening to some of your role models. You need to brainwash yourself here. That's what leads to change. If you want to become more successful in your life, you have to become a new person. You have to change your identity. You have to change your personality traits. You have to change your mood. You have to change the actions you do on a continual basis. You need to inundate your minds with quality material. Now, it's down to you to choose the right kind of people to listen to. Me personally, not only is it important to listen to amazing, successful people in whatever area you want to improve in life, self-development, health, fat loss, wealth creation, investments, passive income, whatever it is that you want to improve in your life. Not only do you have to listen to amazing people who've been there, done it, succeeded, but even more importantly, you have to eliminate or reduce the content that goes in your ear, who you listen to, whom you look at, whose opinions you take on board, especially if they are dramatic, negative, argumentative, confrontational, or what I tend to do is if people are giving me advice, I listen to everyone. But listen carefully, because when I listen to people who have not achieved in life, I'm only listening to them so I can learn what not to do. Sounds bad, but it's true. So there is something to be learned from everyone, but be careful not to listen to negativity. Some people will try and put you down very obviously and explicitly and directly by saying, listen, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not sexy enough, you're not amazing enough, you're not strong enough, you don't have enough willpower, you're not resilient enough. And even more dangerously, there are people out there who do it more insidiously, more pervasively, more indirectly. They'll say things like, oh, you're working a lot harder these days. Do you really think you can change? Just their demeanor, just their tone in that example indicates negativity, implies failure. So be very careful with the way people talk about you, about your goals, about you want to achieve. And be careful with whom you show your cards to. So I hope you play your cards right. You take action. You have a vision. You have a direction. You take massive action every day. You remain disciplined. You show up consistently. Be patient. You've got to be in this for the long game. Listen to quality supportive material every single day on the way to work. When you meditate. When you're traveling. When you're doing things in the background, listen to success. Challenge yourself. Learn new things. Stimulate mental growth. Play your cards right and take action, and I'm sure you will achieve even more than you ever imagined. If you like this kind of material, you want to know more, head on over to my website, guys. www.alexgem.com. Click where it says join PHS today. Enter your credit card details and you'll gain instant access to my revolutionary original course, The Power System, taking you from wherever you are in your life to where you want to be. I include 3 sensational bonuses in this. Hours of exclusive video footage, podcast material, and 100 audio segments to keep you on track, to keep you bettering yourself, to keep you moving forward. The whole package is worth $1,200. I said earlier, I'm offering this for $180. This is insane because I really want you to invest in me and therefore invest in yourself. Take action. I also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee for extra reassurance for you. Take action, move forward, and I'm so privileged to be part of your journey. Consider subscribing to my YouTube channels, guys. In particular, my YouTube channel to help you better yourself, become more successful, more empowered, stronger, to develop your self-esteem. Go to YouTube, type in Alex Gem, subscribe. Every week I release amazing videos, episodes, podcasts. Woo! Go enjoy. You're welcome. I hope they serve you well. What else do I want you to do? I told you to get my book. This is your chance. Go get it. It's worth a few dollars. It's insane. Books are crazy cheap, man. Go get it. I'll offer a power mastermind. Ooh, talk about delving deep. Talk about uncovering your biggest problems, from attacking your biggest fears that are currently holding you back, keeping you from living in the future, currently suppressing you, holding you back, making you live in the past. No. We're going to change your subconscious programs. You're going to leave with an action plan of what to do moving forward. You're going to leave the Power Mastermind with priorities. Not just tons of amazing things that you want to do, but with a plan. You're going to learn what not to do. What's currently preventing you from taking the quality of your life to that next level. Guys, come on. Woo! Join me, Power Mastermind. If you can't work with me in person, I also offer a course version as well. You can get it at my website as well. Go get it. Check out my store, www.alexgemstore.com. I sell all kinds of health-related products and services. Go explore, get what you need, invest in yourself. You are worth it. And I'm so proud and privileged to be working with you. Can't wait to work with you, and I will see you soon. Enjoy, folks. Take care.